Our top story, a war of words over Hindi on Hindi Diwas. Before we start the debate, a quick look at who said what today.
स्थानीय भाषाओं को मजबूत बनाना पड़ेगा और राजभाषा और स्थानीय भाषा मिलकर पूरे देश के मन में से ये भाषा की लघुता ग्रंथि को जो अंग्रेजों ने निर्मित किया है उसको उखाड़ कर फेंकने का समय अब आ गया है। इसलिए आज का दिन देश के युवा भाषा की लघुता ग्रंथि से दूर निकले, अपनी स्वभाषा को स्वीकारे और स्वभाषा को आगे ले जाने का काम करे, अपनी राजभाषा को स्वीकारे और राजभाषा को आगे ले जाने का काम करे, बहुत जरूरी है।
ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷೆಗಳೇನಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕನ್ನಡವನ್ನು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅಗ್ರಗಣ್ಯ ಭಾಷೆಯಾಗಿಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಳಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡ ಬಳಕೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನೂನನ್ನೇ ತರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಇದೇ ಸೆಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡವನ್ನು ಕಾನೂನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ಕಡ್ಡಾಯ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಪ್ರಥಮ ಬಾರಿ ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
Raising this issue, he wanted to break this country, this unity, this country's unity, he wanted to break it. Why you are forcing? People who wanted to learn several languages, they will learn. So the Congress so leave it to them. This is important for BJP only.
ನಾವೇನು ಪಾನಿಪುರಿ ಮಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಹಿಂದಿಯವರೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಪಾನಿಪುರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋರು ಪಾನಿಪುರಿ ಪಾನ್ ಬಿಡ ಮಾರ ಅವರೇ.
There are 22 official languages including Tamil. If he wants to speak Hindi, let him speak. If you want to help Hindi growth, let him do it. But it is our language is Tamil. It is a classical language. And it is still involved in its practice, and every part of Tamil Nadu people speak only Tamil. So it is our language. So why should we think about Hindi, which is a foreign language, totally foreign language to us?
Let me introduce our guest panel this evening. I thank all of them for joining us at the top of it today. S. Sriram is a political analyst joining us. A. Sarvanan is spokesperson of the DMK joining us as well. Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Good to see you. Syed Shafiullah Sahib is a senior vice president of the JDS. We also have Dr. Sudha Halkai, who's spokesperson of the BJP. Let me start my debate with a question to the party that actually started the debate this morning, the JDS. Syed Saab, my simple question to you is this. Given what we have seen through the day today and all the talk about imposition and wastage of money, etc. over celebrating Hindi Diwas, I want to ask you, where is the imposition? Was anyone in Karnataka forced to celebrate Hindi Diwas? No one was forced to celebrate Hindi Diwas. Is anyone in Karnataka being forced to speak the Hindi language? No one is being forced to speak the Hindi language. Where is the imposition, sir?
See, the imposition is when there was an inauguration of metro train, the central government has given the orders to write all the signboards in Hindi. That time over here, everybody found there is an imposition of Hindi. Not only that, in all the central government establishments like banks, post offices, and railways and all other places, there are Hindi signboards and Kannada signboards are also there. But the people working there, most of them are from Hindi land, and all Hindi people were loaded here in Karnataka. Why the Kannadigas should not be given an opportunity over there, and why the Hindi people should be employed over here, and the opportunity of Karnataka people should be deprived of, and the opportunities are given to the outsiders. And this is also because of Hindi and Hindi imposition. And the Kannadiga finds it difficult for speaking Hindi, because Kannada has got 2,500 years of history. And it's a classic language. And we love 6.5 crore of Kannadigas love our mother tongue Kannada. And we respect all other languages. Why Hindi people also should not respect all other languages and treat all other languages equally, and other language people should be given the opportunities in their own lands properly. And when our MPs, elected MPs, go to Hindi land to attend the parliament in Delhi, and they are asked to forced to speak Hindi, this is not right. And put signboards of Kannada in all the parliament places where our Kannada MPs come over there. Let that be easier for every Indian.
Syed Saab,
It is
anyone who has watched,
not
Syed
only
Saab,
that,
two things.
It is linguistic chauvinism.
You're saying it's linguistic chauvinism, all right. That's your point of view. I just have 2 points to make here before I move on to our guests. First things first, Syed Saab, how can you call an Indian citizen who comes to work in another state an outsider? How is that possible, sir? This country is for everyone, and all states are for every individual and every citizen of this country. Secondly, who's forcing... Sir, ek second.
Very nice.
Sir, ek second. Let me complete.
Very nice, madam.
Sir, let me complete. I gave you time to speak, and everyone's views will be reflected on this channel and on this debate. You know this, sir. I hope you have that much trust in us. My second point that I'm making is, whenever we have seen parliamentary proceedings on television, regional languages are spoken on the floor of the House. No MP is forced to speak in Hindi or English for that matter. So where is that charge coming from is another question. Let me get in, A. Sarvanan, he's spokesperson of the DMK. We've seen language wars play out in Tamil Nadu since the 1930s. I'm not going to...
Shall I answer for your first question, madam?
Okay, sir. Okay, Syed Saab, I'll let you answer. Please go ahead.
When you say how can we feel that we Kannadigas of Karnataka feel that is an imposition, and now you tell me how many Kannadigas have been given the opportunities in Hindi speaking places? No, none. There is no employment of Kannadigas in UP.
That
Why
is not true,
all
sir.
the UP people should be employed here and
I come
in
from
the place
Lucknow.
of Kannadigas places?
Sir, I come from Lucknow.
It is true. It is
I
very
come
much
from Lucknow,
true.
and
It
I
is
can
very
tell
much
you,
true.
Syed Saab, respectfully, I come from Lucknow, and I can tell you that the IT majors in the city of Lucknow who have set up offices draw people from all parts of the country, including Karnataka and including Tamil Nadu. So to say that Kannadiga people are not given employment in states like UP is, not the entirely the correct picture. Let me get in, and just to make the point, Hindi Diwas is being celebrated since 1953. Deve Gowda Saab was the Prime Minister between 1996 and 1997.
Why not Kannada Divas all over India?
Celebrate, sir?
We Kannadigas want Kannada Divas to be celebrated all over India also.
No, so here's
Let
the
that
question.
be from the central government. Let
Deve
there be an
Gowda Saab
announcement
was
from
the
them.
Prime Minister of this country from 1996 to 1997. Did he do anything to say that only one language cannot be celebrated? And therefore, let us scrap Hindi Divas. He didn't say anything then. H.D. Kumaraswamy was the Chief Minister of Karnataka from 2018 to 2019. Did he do anything to scrap, Hindi Divas celebrations? He didn't.
At that time, all the linguistic chauvinists were keeping quiet. Now they are raising their voices. That is why the point has raised.
Okay. Let me get in Mr. A. Sarvanan. Mr. A. Sarvanan, what is the problem with Hindi? Where is the imposition? Again, I ask, where is the imposition? Is anyone forcing anyone to learn the Hindi language in Tamil Nadu or in Karnataka? No. Is anyone forcing anyone to celebrate Hindi Divas, whether in Karnataka or in Tamil Nadu? No. So where is the chauvinism? Where is the imposition? This was just a celebration.
Yeah, Shreya, no offense meant. Don't be so naive. Hindi is shoved down our throats. We have the Home Minister of the country coming and saying Hindi should be the language which unites the country. Hindi can never be the language which can unite this country. He says, leave the other language. There are two official languages. Use one official language. That should be the language that should be spoken by the people from different states who wish to communicate with each other. This is not what the founding fathers, our constitution emphasized. English should be there so that anybody who's not a native speaker in this country. Hindi is spoken by a majority of the people. So
43% people.
Importance, yes, that is why I said majority. Majority of the people in the country, that is the most spoken language here. So if you are going to give importance to that particular language, it means everybody else, if only that language is allowed to flourish, everybody else who's speaking the other languages, who is not a native speaker of Hindi, will be treated as a second-class citizen automatically. That is why we said we should have English. English is a leveler. Because English is foreign to me, English is foreign to you, English is foreign to Aishwarya, English is foreign to somebody who's from Karnataka, Kerala, who's from Andhra. That is why Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of the country, gave this solemn promise that English will also continue to be official language. Now the BJP wants to do away with that. And when you are asking about imposition, if you have asked where is this imposition coming from? If you look at the kind of money that is spent for Hindi, 75 crores, and every year it is increasing for teaching Hindi. Why not this? Given this kind of treatment is given to any other language, 600 crores for the promotion of Sanskrit, $800,000 for propagating Hindi in the UN, as though there is no other speaker of this country, no other speaker of any other languages, the country is living abroad. This is the kind of treatment, this is the kind of partiality shown to other languages, which we are saying Hindi is being imposed. And Hindi is not only imposed these ways, Hindi is also imposed in the form of examinations. If you know English, and almost all the competitive examinations, most of the competitive examinations, they want to do away with the regional language. They go away with English and Hindi. We have protested so many times. That is the reason now they're trying to include all the other languages. Now, you also asked one more question. This is being done from 1949. Now, BJP is a Hindi majoritarian party. They pander to the aspirations of the Hindi-speaking population alone. That is the reason why we are opposing this Hindi Diwas now is gaining so much of attraction. Our leader, Mr. MK Stalin, has said, please celebrate Indian languages festival rather than one festival for one language on the taxpayers' money that is paid by every speaker of Malayalam, every speaker of Kannada, every speaker of Telugu, every speaker of Tamil. So don't give undue importance to one language. This is one thing. The other aspect would be, when we speak about the BJP is afraid of the pluralistic nature of our country. They want to homogenize everything. They are obsessed with oneness. They have this toxic obsession with the word oneness. So they want people to wear the same clothes. They want to have one nation. They want to have one election. They want to have one nation. They want to have one ration. They want to have one people, one nation, and they want all the people to speak the same language again and again. So we have problems with this, and they said Hindi will integrate. Hindi can never integrate. It will be working towards the detriment of integrity. Only if we ensure that this pluralism of our country sustains, we'll be able to stay united.
Dr. Sudha, okay. I get your points. You make some very good points. And let me take that to the obvious person I can take to on this panel, which is the BJP spokesperson. Dr. Sudha, you are joining us. Please respond to all that has been said. You have heard from leaders of Tamil Nadu. You have heard from leaders of Karnataka as well. Why this special treatment to one language? When it comes to language imposition, the BJP may say, where is the imposition? We are not forcing anyone. But the fact is that the BJP is trying to make Hindi compulsory, for example, in the Northeast for everyone till the classes of class 10, I believe, in the northeastern states, and there is protest happening there. These are all signs that will be seen as evidence of Hindi imposition by the BJP. Why special treatment to just one language when there are 22 official languages in this country? Yes, Hindi is the fastest growing. It had added some 100 million speakers, I believe, in 10 years. But that apart, there are 22 official languages.
First of all, I really feel sad that they have not done their homework on national education policy. And the thing is, in 1966 and 1967 only, in Kannanur session, where it was a session of Janasangha, which was where the chairperson was late Shri Deendayal Upadhyayji, then only it was emphasized that the regional languages should be given the first priority. Okay, it is not now. And in the national education policy, it is said that the regional language, whichever it is, maybe Kannada, Telugu or Tamil, whatever it is, for the first year. See, earlier it was 10 plus 2 years. Okay, now it is 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, and the first 5 years, which is called as a foundation year, here it is emphasized that the regional language should be taught to the students and not English. Then later on, they can choose the either Hindi or English as a second or third language. So there is no question of our party emphasizing Hindi to be given the first priority. They are the first party, in fact, in the country where they are giving the first priority to the regional language. Why didn't the other parties which were ruling all these years implemented this? There are 1,700 languages in our country. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. No, first let Dr. Sudha
There are
complete her point, then I'll get
1,700.
in.
There are 1,700 languages in our country, and it's a country of unity with diversity. So we really love all the languages. All the languages are beautiful, and Kannada, Nadu, Nadi, and it's a true language. Like it is one of the languages which had which were the scripts were written in 6th BC. Okay. So we have Hale Kannada, Nadu Kannada, and Purva Hale Kannada, and Hosa Kannada. So there is no question of anywhere where the party, our BJP party, is emphasizing for all others to give Hindi as a first priority. In fact, I feel so very proud that they've given every language its platform.
I asked you a simple question, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Sudha, but I'd ask you a simple, and I do believe that you have a supporter in SS Sriram. I'll let him come in. But go ahead, Mr. Sarvanan, you wanted to make a counterpoint.
See, the problem is not with the regional language. We are not saying Hindi is being pushed. Of course, that is a different argument. But as usual, like how the BJP spokesperson obfuscate everything, the spokesperson here is also trying to sideline the point. The point is English. We are saying English is very, very important for the growth of our country. English is very, very important for the integrity of our country. English is a neutral language. It is neutral for you, it is neutral for me. So if you are saying, I will do away with English, I will give importance to Hindi and the other regional language, you means you are importing
No ways.
Hindi.
English is also included. Let me tell you, there are three languages.
I'll finish.
Regional language, Hindi language, and
Mr.
English
Sarvanan,
language.
it's interesting that English, we should have said English imperialism, given that it's a foreign language, and Hindi is our own, and yet there is a preference over,
any language, Shreya, any language which is not my mother tongue is a foreign language to me. Hindi is foreign to me. Malayalam is foreign to me. Telugu is foreign to me. Italian is foreign to me. German is foreign to me. My mother tongue is different. So when we are speaking of English, English is a leveler.
But Hindi is the language of the union, official language of the union. It's not India's national language, Mr. Sarvanan, but it is the official language of the union. So it is not a foreign language, sir. You're part of the union, na?
I'm saying
Tamil Nadu is part of the union. So you can't say it's foreign to me, it's a foreign language to me.
No, don't take
English.
the literal meaning. No, Shreya, don't take the literal meaning of the word foreign. I'm saying any language which is not my mother tongue is foreign to me. That is the point I'm trying to make.
But Mr. Sarvanan, 36% South Indians, 1 minute, 30, this is all data we have got, and this is the government's data. Out of the entire Indian population, 25% are South Indians. Out of that population, 36% speak Hindi.
No problem. We don't have any problem with that. Whoever wants to learn that willingly out of their own free will, let them go ahead and do that. We are only saying, please don't show it down our throats and don't use it for provocative politics and divisive politics. See, that is what the BJP is using that language for.
No.
We are opposed
this statement,
to that.
What was given is a far-reaching political conspiracy, okay? Here, 1953 only, the Hindi language Divas was supposed to be celebrated. Like it is declared then. It is not declared by BJP now. And 2006, Manmohan Singh ji was the first one who has celebrated that day. So why BJP now all of a sudden? It is retweeted. It's just a conspiracy.
You are imposing.
Will the Congress spokesperson come in here, Aishwarya Mahadev? Now the BJP is saying we didn't start it at all. It was started by the Congress party in 1953. And Jawaharlal Nehru, and Jawaharlal Nehru was the one who actually wanted Hindi and English to be the official languages of this country.
Then BJP should not follow that.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, I'll let
BJP should
Aishwarya
desist
respond.
from forcing the other people to learn Hindi.
Nobody is forcing over here, yeah. We have told you, national education policy, it is
BJP
putting
is doing that.
regional
No,
language.
national education policy is imposing Hindi. So don't take refuge under the national education policy.
See, what we want, we Kannadigas want the respect for all the 22 official languages and other all Indian languages to be given the same respect and same
Of course it is given, sir.
Okay, let
Of course
Aishwarya
it is
come
should
in.
be treated in their own
Chaliye bhai, let Aishwarya come in now.
course it
Given
is
the
given.
fact that Hindi Divas was starting during the Congress rule, let Aishwarya come in as well. Aishwarya, go ahead. Where does the Congress party stand on the debate?
One second. Good evening. Yeah, I think this is a fabulous debate, and I really hope none of the panelists over enthusiastically interrupt me because I've waited this long to make my point. First and foremost, Shreya, I think as a South Indian, as a Kannadiga myself, that I hold a lot of pride and a lot of absolute joy and wonder of the fact that my language is one of the oldest, along with Tamil and a lot of the South Indian languages. When you talk about foreign languages, we can go into the discourse about where Hindi originally comes from and from all the foreignness and what is Indianness, but let's not have that discussion. I'll tell you what has really upset a lot of Kannadigas today. There may have been a time where Mr. Manmohan Singh or successive Congress governments have celebrated Hindi Diwas, but we have never seen an imposition like this on South Indian states, which is disadvantaging them. Let me give you a few examples, right? For example, today, why should my state, which is disadvantaged, by the imposition of Hindi in government policy, in government recruitment, in exams, so much so that underserved communities, where there are banks in rural Mysore or parts of Karnataka, people cannot even communicate with the bankers there because they speak Hindi, and they have turned around and asked my Kannada speaking brethren to speak the same language. Remember, language is not superiority, and if that language, if you wanted to talk about superiority, I can go out on a whim and say the South Indian classical languages are far superior, whether it is script or the history or the sort of legacy that they bring. But I will not get into that divisive conversation. I will tell you, language is a bridge, and I agree with my DMK colleague here, because when he talks about English, as much as we may love to put everybody under the Hindi banner, the global world today, which India is also a part of, communicates largely in English. And today I will tell you why my state has a problem, Shreya, is because when you deprive us, when you don't allow our youngsters to do exams in those languages, when you spend more on scribes for the Hindi language, when you have these memos, which you later call unofficial, saying you will encourage officers who are Hindi speaking and also choose to speak Hindi, when you push out this idea of a 3-language policy under NEP, and I really want to see a person from the northern states learn Kannada, the same way you express us to have Hindi as a speaking, learning language is the third part during NEP. My issue today is very singularly this. I have as much pride in my mother tongue as anybody else in this country. We pride ourselves for diversity. You have taken away opportunities of people in my state on this idea of language. And today you expect me to celebrate. I have already told you, from besides regional rural banks, even as early as 2021, look at the IBPS exams. Look at it, what languages they offered it. Look at a lot of government sector jobs and what language they encouraged people to apply in. And that too to serve in Karnataka. And if you think the BJP thought what they were doing was right, why did Mr. Bommai go into session today and clarify that we're not imposing Hindi, I am going to bring a special law for Kannada itself? Didn't he inherently believe when he made that speech that what his center was talking about was a farce? Singularly, Shreya, for me today, I am a proud Kannadiga as much as I'm a proud Indian. I pride myself on being Indian because we respect the diversity of all our languages, whether it's the Schedule 8 languages, whether it's your official language under 343 of the Constitution. But Shreya, let me end on this. Languages are a bridge of communication. They should not be something of imposition or of superiority. This is something the South will reject wholeheartedly. And I believe this is disadvantaging my brethren in the South. And we will fight against it. Why will I spend government money?
Look, any sort of imposition in any case has been rejected in the past. History has shown us that since 1930.
Equally.
It showed us that in 1967. It showed us that in 1937.
Respect for all 22 languages.
Mr. Sriram, please come in here.
Just a minute. Just a minute. In my school days, we had an option for second language. Either we could choose Hindi or Kannada. Even now we have, I think. So, but here now, being what she told that she's proud of being a Kannadiga, and 1,000 times even more proud of being a Kannadiga. It's my mother tongue. And the thing is, today they are giving Kannada as a first priority. Okay. So where does the question come that they're putting down any of the regional languages? Take it Kannada also.
Mr. Sriram, the BJP is a party that likes to win
second
elections.
language is
want
what
the
is the first
central
language?
government-
Ladies and gentlemen,
I think all of them.
ladies and gentlemen, everyone. Yeah, Mr. Sriram is now getting a little upset. Chalo, chalo.
Everyone.
Syed Saab, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Syed Saab, this has been a very civilized conversation, and I think it's a civilized conversation because all of you are coming from the south. So let it continue to be exactly that, though I'm from the north. Sometimes my parents tell me that I go overboard. I want to ask you this, Mr. Sriram, fact is that the BJP is a party that loves to win elections. Any party loves to win elections. Why will they do something like Hindi imposition and ruin their chances in the south? Please tell me, does it even make political sense there?
Yeah. Aishwarya, first I'm a proud Indian and then a Tamilian. I don't want to be a pseudo. I'm first a proud Indian and then I'm a very, very proud Tamilian. I just want to remind Madam Aishwarya, when Mr. P. Chidambaram, as a Home Minister, gave a Hindi Diwas lecture where he went one step ahead and said Hindi should be made the national language. Today she comes and sits here and says that BJP is pushing Hindi. I think she must go back and see that video where Chidambaram is insisting on Hindi to be made the national language. As Sudhaji rightly pointed out, none of these guys ever thought of making a mother tongue to be the foundation for standard 1 to standard 5, which is what the Modi government has thought. They've always given the rightful respect to all the regional languages. Indian parties, probably they'll be too happy to promote Urdu because that is more convenient for those who use them as a vote bank. They'll be very happy to use Urdu, but they'll have a problem to use Hindi if someone is going to suggest them to use Hindi.
What is the root language of Hindi?
As a link language than in English, because we have that imperialistic mind even today, and we have no problem in learning a foreign language, but we have a problem, big time problem in learning an Hindi language. See, they are trying to make non-issue as an issue. Definitely, they don't have anything to talk to. So obviously, they want to be relevant. So they take up this. Now, UPA should answer. Miss Aishwarya should answer what Mr. P. Chidambaram had to say. Now, Hindi promotion is as per Constitution 351, one has to promote Hindi. Now, please go and remove that constitutional obligation that you don't have to promote Hindi. As simple as that, that no government has to do this. As long as it is a part of a constitutional obligation, which all of us keep talking about Dr. Ambedkar and his laurels and all his contribution, this is what is a part of the constitution. If someone does a constitutional duty, why do you guys fume up like this? That's my simple question.
And honestly, will anyone hold boards and say, we oppose the imposition of Urdu or we oppose the imposition of any other language? Will anyone do it?
10 seconds.
Okay, Mr. Sarvanan, 10 seconds,
Yeah.
and then I will give Aishwarya 10 seconds. Go ahead. And Syed Saab also, I will give you 10 seconds, but not more than 10 seconds. I have another debate to do. Go ahead, please.
See, the thing is, the importance of English is this. It will give us economic freedom. India has progressed. There can be no doubt that India has become a superpower economically only because of the use of English. You cannot become a doctor, an engineer, or anything else without the use of English. Yes, we have a great pride in our regional languages.
That is true. It's one of our strengths.
Yes.
English is one of our strengths in the global world.
So what is the agenda of the BJP?
The Chinese realize this much later. And look at how the Chinese are trying to learn the English language now.
Yes, Shreya, that is where I am coming. What is the agenda? The dubious agenda of the BJP is to do away with English and bring Hindi in the place of English as a link language, which we oppose. Because reading Hindi or reading any other, just having a knowledge of any other regional language is not going to give you economic dividends. It is not good for the future of our country. That is why we are saying, please don't.
Okay.
Do away
It
with
is
English.
like you're
You are
not
doing away
respecting
with
your
English,
mother
you are
tongue.
imposing
Sarvanan,
Hindi.
what is the
Opposite.
percentage of people who speak English in Tamil Nadu? Do you have a data? People who speak English in Tamil Nadu,
India,
especially the
in Tamil
government
Nadu,
schools,
we
you have
have
data.
the software.
We don't learn
in
English
Chennai,
either. That's
Chennai
my
is the
point.
software capital
We
of
don't.
India.
We don't.
Because,
Now forget about
because
Chennai.
we have
I am talking
a great
about.
English
Chennai
speaking
does not make
population
Tamil Nadu.
and people
Now let's be very
who
clear.
know
Chennai
English
is not
very
Tamil
well.
Nadu. So
If
how many of them speak
1967,
English? So
if this
neither allow
official
them to speak
languages act
English,
is
nor
not
you
allowed
teach
to
them English,
continue,
nor you teach
India,
them Hindi.
Gentlemen.
That's the actual
India
fact.
would not have become an economic superpower like what we are now. You
Okay.
are trying to do away with that, which we oppose.
Okay, Mr. Shriram, make your point. I think Mr. Sarvanan has completed his point. Now you can make it so that our viewers can understand what you were trying to say.
Yeah. I will say, Mr. Saravanan, I asked him a simple question. 8 crore of Tamil people, how many of them speak English? He came with this idea of Chennai, maximum people speak English. Obviously a metro city. But
Not
what
Chennai,
I am talking about
Mr.
is that
Saravanan,
8
wait.
crore of Tamil Nadu people, how many of them speak English? My point is, they neither teach a good English, they neither learn good English, nor they speak good Hindi. They mess it up with the agenda of
You are
just
wrong.
keep
Very
writing
difficult to
on
communicate with,
Tamil.
Don't put on the state of Tamil Nadu.
But they don't
Don't put on
they're
the state
okay
of
to
Tamil
do
Nadu.
Urdu,
You are
but
Mr.
they
Shriram,
don't
wait.
talk Tamil.
Mr.
Listen to me.
Shriram, wait.
This
This
is
is not
linguistic
required.
chauvinism.
See, this is why I said at the beginning of the show, if there is one language that, evokes extreme emotions, both sides of the Vindhyas, it is Hindi. Mr. Shriram, no need to do this. No need to scream over each other. Wait.
No, give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Last year.
Mr. Sarvanan, you've had your say. You've had your say, Mr. Sarvanan. Wait. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Last year, 10th standard board exams, we had 46,000 students fail in mother tongue Tamil.
Mr.
So that was
Sarvanan,
the
wait,
standard.
please. Let Mr. Shriram make his point. Let's keep this civilized,
Sarvanan,
please. Gentlemen,
let him talk. Let him talk. It's okay. Let
gentlemen,
him talk.
come on, gentlemen. Mr. Sarvanan, let him make a point. Na, that's the entire point of a debate, that everyone can make their point, and we don't have to scream at each other. And this is in any case not an outrage channel. You know that. Mere now is not an outrage channel. We don't need to do this. Halla malla.
I will scream. I will scream. When he is trying to
ठीक है. You had a
put down the state of Tamil Nadu. I will do that.
No, he is also from the state of Tamil Nadu, and he is
down.
entitled to a view of his own.
Let me give my
Sir, but he is entitled to a view of his own, na? We are in a democracy. Last we checked, he is entitled to a view of his own. Let him complete the point he is making. He is as much as a patriot as you, me, or anyone else on this panel. Yes, Mr. Shriram, please complete your point in 10 seconds.
Yeah. I'm as much as Tamilian as Saravanan claims that he to be a Tamilian. Then let him answer. In the 10th standard board exam last year, 46,000 people failed in the language, Tamil language. That is the standard. Now, if he gives yarn about Tamil and English, linked language and all that, let them first teach our mother tongue properly to our students in Tamil Nadu, which is important to me as well, as much as he is.
Okay, Aishwarya Mahadev, 10 seconds, please. I'm concluding the debate.
You know, I would love
Not about the number of students, because we have a
Priya,
large number of
please.
people writing the board examinations. Look
can
at the
I-
pass percentage. Look at the strides Tamil Nadu
You
has
mute
made.
them.
Don't put on the state of
Shreya,
Tamil
it's
Nadu.
my personal
Shreya.
experience when I've been to Tamil Nadu for a conference.
Seriously.
I think it's
This is what happens.
Okay,
Karnataka,
ladies and gentlemen, chaliye, it's what, 8:35. Just a minute. I have to conclude this debate because the Prime Minister is headed to SCO. But before I do that, I don't want Aishwarya Mahadev to go away and Syed Saab to go away and the BJP spokesperson to go away and say, we didn't get the last word in. Aishwarya Mahadev, 10 seconds, please. I'm begging you with folded hands. Usse zyada mat lena.
No, Shreya, to be very honest, I think all of us would love nothing more than to go have a Hindi speech in Liechtenstein or some foreign country. But the fact of the matter is, English is that language. Mr. Shriram can talk all he wants about it. But today, my state is opposing it because Hindi has disadvantaged my people. That is singularly that. You can laugh when Mr. Sarvanan talks about how Tamil is important on either side, and you should be ashamed of yourself, sir. Today, we will stand up against the fact that Hindi
You be
is
ashamed of
misused
yourself about Mr.
to
Chidambaram.
disadvantage our people. Sir, the one piece of research you did on Mr. Chidambaram, maybe we'll have another debate and I'll debunk you on it, right? But the fact today is you're using Hindi as a tool of oppressing Kannadigas and not giving them opportunities. That is my problem. So the one piece of research that you have, I will actually, if I had more time, and I don't want to disrespect Shreya the way that all of you have taken your time over, but I will end by saying that
Chalo, that's a debate for another time. That's
Thank
a
you.
debate for
Shreya,
another time. Syed Saab, please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead, Syed Saab.
See, you have raised a point that when Mr. Deve Gowda ji was Prime Minister and when H.D. Kumaraswamy was CM, why these issues have not raised? Please note, at that time, these linguistic chauvinists were silent. Now they have raised their voice. Now Deve Gowda ji and Sri Kumaraswamy and Sri Ibrahim, CM Ibrahim, our president, has issued a very clear signal that we stand with 6.5 crore Kannadigas, and what our demand is to give same respect. We want central government to give same respect to the Kannada as they give it to Hindi. And whatever they spend money for the development of Hindi, the same amount has to be spent for all other 22 languages, including Kannada. And Kannada is our language for 2,500 years. And Hindi is only for 400 years old. And here in Karnataka, we all speak Kannada. Please give same importance and don't show your linguistic chauvinism and don't try to impose, and all central government organizations, please employ Kannadigas.
Okay.
That's our demand.
No,
Shreya,
also
I'd just
interestingly
like to
today, yes, of course, interestingly today we had the Chief Minister on the floor of the House saying that Kannadiga now will be compulsory. But here I have research that says that according to the Karnataka Official Languages Act 1963, the language to be used for the official purposes in the state shall be Kannadiga. So,
yes.
so I don't know what is happening today. What's the new thing that the Chief Minister has announced in any case? Yes, I think the BJP spokesperson wants to come in. Dr. Sudha, I have only 10 seconds. Please go ahead and I'll wrap the show.
Thank you so much. Shreya, whatever they're saying, the central government is emphasizing Hindi as more priority. Let them go through the National Education Policy. I'm repeating it again. National Education Policy 2020 has very clearly stated that our regional language will be the first language. And Aishwarya, where are they putting Kannadigas down here? They're giving the first priority. Kannada is being given first priority. See, a plant can't be, a tree can't be bended, a plant can be bended. So when the early stages from 3 years to 8 years, when they're giving the complete Kannada education to the children, they're going to be master in Kannada for the rest of their life. So what more they want? They've given us what we want. Why blaming the central government now?
Okay, we'll leave
Try
it there.
to understand the education policy.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. I think this has been an enlightening debate and all of us are going away learning something about where the debate is progressing. Thank you very much, Dr. Sudha, for joining us, spokesperson of the BJP. S.S. Sriram, thank you very much as well. Thank you to all my other panelists as well. I'm slipping into a quick break on the